everybody, and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary, where I do the research to try to teach you a little something about what you're drinking. Now tonight I'm going to be talking about chill filtering, basically what it is and why you may decide to do it as a distiller. So if you've never even heard of this, then let me start off with a quick little synopsis so that we can all be on the same page. Basically, chill filtering is a way for a distiller to remove impurities from their whiskey so that when water or ice is added to it, it doesn't get cloudy. Now, why does this even matter? Well, it's pretty much all cosmetic. So if you think about it, they're selling to the wide audience, the whiskey world as a whole. They're not selling to people who are very informed and know that any whiskey over 92 proof isn't even going to matter. The alcohol in those higher alcohol whiskeys just takes care of this right off the bat. But they're selling to anybody who can, be at a party and see a whiskey, and if they see one that's clear versus one that's opaque, they're going to think a little higher of the clear one. They're going to just see it and just naturally think that it's better. And so it's purely a marketing thing. So now that you know what chill filtering is, let me tell you a little bit about how it's done. So chill filtering, the distiller or whoever's dealing with the whiskey will take the whiskey and bring it down to about 0 degrees Celsius for a single malt or -4 degrees Celsius for a blend. And there's a little bit of variation there, but basically get it really, really cold. And what this does is it gets the fatty acids and the proteins and the esters that are naturally in the whiskey from the distilling process or from the barrel or whatever, and they clump together. Now, the reason that this matters, if you think about it, is that when they force it through a filter, it's a little harder to get through and it will get caught. So on the other side of that filter, which in this case we're talking like mesh filters, metal mesh filters, and just regular paper filters as well, get stuck. So on the other side, you've got your nice, clean, transparent whiskey. And you might think like, why does this even matter? Who cares, right? So the whiskey world as a whole does kind of care, or at least people who take the time to appreciate whiskey. And there's a few different reasons, but let me start from the point of view of the distiller first. So as I mentioned before, a higher alcohol will not really have this problem. So we're talking mostly about lower alcohol whiskeys, or typically cheaper whiskeys. Now, if you can make your whiskey look better and keep the alcohol content down, you are able to make that barrel of whiskey go a little bit further, get a few more bottles out of it, and make more money. So, and then also, the cloudiness that I mentioned earlier. So they've got a couple different reasons to want to do this. I mean, it does cost money to filter this thing, but if you're making more money by selling more bottles that look nicer, it makes sense. Now, from the other side of it, from the actual whiskey drinker, why do people care? Well, you're buying a product that may have aged for 20, 30 years. You don't want anybody messing with it. I mean, this thing was put in a barrel by somebody who knew what they were doing to age a certain amount of time. And when you get it out, you want to taste that. You don't want to taste what somebody has messed with, You don't want people putting coloring or flavoring in it, and you don't want people removing things that are already in there. And, especially for just a simple cosmetic reason, it's really not worth it. So, aside from that, some people will absolutely say that they can taste a difference if they have, a non-chill filtered whiskey and a chill filtered whiskey. And, I don't blame them. I don't doubt it. I think that it's probably really, really subtle, but there's people out there with really, really good palates too. They taste whiskey for a job. So it makes some sense. Basically what it comes down to is, from the distiller's point of view, it's all marketing. From the whiskey drinker's point of view, don't mess with something that's supposed to already be delicious on its own. So that's what chill filtering is. I hope that this has been informative, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Whiskey Dictionary.